Hey guys, I want to go over artboards in this video. I'm in Photoshop, and by default, when you set up a new document in Photoshop, when you pick web or mobile or this, you're going to get artboards. Now, what's really nice about the Adobe software is that by default, they show you some of the most common sizes. Same thing in InDesign, same thing in Illustrator. So I generally don't use the smallest, most common size. I usually go for something a little bit bigger. I'm going to go for 1920 by 1080. But really the thing is you have to know what your client needs are. So if I'm just randomly designing like 1920 by 1080, what is the audience going to be looking at this on? Or what is it going to be used for? Is it going to be web? Is it going to be mobile? Is it going to be social media? So for example, if I were doing Instagram post, for example, I know that their post size is 1080 by 1080. And here, where it says resolution 72, I never leave it at 72. That's my little badness. I always set this to 300. And the reason why, have you heard that old saying, garbage in, garbage out? I do it to 300 because as I'm working, it just looks a little bit better. And when I generate my assets or I export my artboards, it's going to be knocked down to 72. But while I'm working on it, even though it's tiny, because if I put this on inches, it's 3.6 inches. And if you're use different sizes in the UK, so for example, millimeters, right? So it's a really small size. So I'm going to go back to pixels. So 1080, 1080, really small in pixels. And that way it doesn't look horrible. I always leave my background as white. I'm used to drawing in a sketchbook where I have white paper. If I were doing something reversed out, maybe I would pick a different color, but I want a white background just when I'm working. And the reason why is that when I create an artboard, if you don't have a white background, you have transparency. So I like my white background. With artboard, there's also an artboard tool hiding underneath the move tool. It's worth mentioning that if you go under your move tool and you don't see an artboard tool, I want you to go to the three dots here. And the three dots, if you hold down, is Edit Toolbar. And that allows me to take things from the right and put them over on the left. I don't need to do that because my artboard tool is here. I tend to group my tools with each other. So all the shortcuts here, like the V's go together, the M's go together. So I try to keep them organized, but that's just me. You do you. I'm going to say cancel. And what I will do is I'm just going to put a background in here. I didn't mention that this over here, this document here, the presentation that I set up for the interview, these are the book covers. These are the books that I recommend from our reading list. So these are actually set up as artboards, and you can actually see how I did it. And they're just all a bunch of different artboards, and artboards are really just almost like when you group objects together. So what I mean by that is if I just did a normal print document, so instead of saying web, I'm just going to say US paper and letter size, okay. And notice that it doesn't say artboard. And if I were to make a bunch of layers, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to make a solid color, and I'm going to just make a random another layer. If I were to take these, and I'm going to unlock that layer and hold Shift and just click this is group, or the keyboard shortcut is Command G. On a PC, it's Control G. So if I group these, it kind of sort of looks like the artboards over here in my other documents, doesn't it? There they are. Okay, so I can open these up. Whenever you see that little triangle, that means you can open it. The eyeball is visibility. And then one of the really cool things, like when you're setting up your artboards, if you take your artboard and you select it by the name, notice that I click on it. If I take the name, I can drag this around. I can add artboards just by clicking the plus sign. And look how fast I'm able to make these. And if I decide, you know what, I don't want one, I hit the delete key and it's gone. Or I could just drag this down to the trash can. boop, and it's gone. So artboards are really handy. So I've shown you how to set these up from scratch, and it would be the same thing. If I just want a colored background, I could take the marquee tool, and if I wanted to give it a color, I'll just put that turquoise in there. That looks very pretty. And I want to make sure I'm on the right artboard. So if I say edit, fill, foreground color, sure, why not? And deselect, Command D, Control D on a PC. So if I fill that color, and then maybe I did a shape or something like that, so I'm just going to hold Shift to draw out a perfect circle, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a stroke, maybe black, and get rid of the fill. So we'll say fill, none, maybe make the stroke bigger. Okay, and back to the move tool, and then I can find center here. What I do to find center is I will grab an object and just say Command T. Notice the little transformation handles around the object. If I drag this out, there's my guides. And if I hit return, the guides are there. Okay, and notice that they're only on that artboard. So you might not want it for all of them, but what I find nice is that if I just do this on the next artboard, it just makes it lining up. But I'm not on this artboard, am I? If I go to layer 2, artboard 2, there we go. So notice that when I'm on artboard 2, I don't see that. You have to click on it to actually see your guides. And then, there we go. Okay, so we'll pretend that I set up a bunch of artboards, right? I got my artwork. If I wanted to place something on this, I would. But we're going to just jump back over here because I want to talk about exporting your artboards. And Photoshop has a really great way of helping you save out your art. If I go here and say File, Export, Artboards to Files, it's going to ask me where do I want to save it. Yeah, I want to save it in the folder. Okay, just checking. Yep, okay. And then it's going to call them, because these are my book covers, it's calling it book covers. Artboard content only. Yeah, I don't want stuff off in the margins. And selected artboards. Now notice that I have number 9 selected here. I don't want just number 9. I want all of them, so I'm going to uncheck that so all of them get exported. And then here, I could save them as a PNG, but for an image, JPEG might be nice. But beware, if you save as a JPEG, make sure that you're not dumping the compression down, because it's a lossy file. And that just means that every time you save it, you lose a little bit, right? There's loss. So that's how I remembered it when I first learned about it. It's a lossy file. PNGs are good. They're for the web. But remember, PNGs are RGB, not CMYK. They're not meant for print generally. They're web files. And transparency, I don't have any. And then we'll just say run. And as that's happening right there, it just saved all my artboards and it put them in the same directory as this folder. So if I say File, I'm just going to say Save As, because it'll save it in my folder again. And there's all my artboards. See them? It just saved them all. So cancel. And there's all the way up to artboard 10. So that's creating artboards in Photoshop and exporting them out for web. The next video, what I want to do is go over how to generate image assets in Photoshop.